this computer. Okay, hello. Thanks for joining me in this. And some of you may be seeing the recording. What we're doing here is ARV Learn by Doing. We do one of these every the first of the month. And one is a very exciting one for me because as most of you know, I've been doing ARP for many, many, many years and been quite frustrated, as I think you have, with the displacement issue. But Ed um, has come up with a technique where there is no displacement. And I am going to show you that. And I'm going to show you how you can use it in a very simple fashion. I gave a presentation on this before and I gave the details, and I'm afraid that might have scared some people off, but you do not need the details, as I will show here. So first of all, Happy New Year. And here's a eGARV multi-person prediction person. He's got his pencil and pen all ready to go. But what I've highlighted here is the group. The way Ed May did this, it was one person at a time, and there were a very, very high percentage of passes, like 90% or some number like that, because he waited to get a very high score. With the group, we can get away with somewhat lower scores. Now, what's displacement? You probably all know if you've done this for a while. And displacement is doing a great job on the wrong target. And so with eGARV, you're going for the correct target. There is no second target any human being sees. The computer chooses them. But of course, you do have to use your psychic ability. Because it's blind. That's why the question mark is there. And that's what makes this so marvelous, that you're in the realm of non-locality and getting your information. Now, I'm showing this one example, not so much for the example, but to make some other key points here about eGARV. So this is the transcript that went along with it. And this transcript in eGARV was a hit. If it was just the old-fashioned way, and Joe McMonaco had done this with no water being there, this would have been a pass for him. But we've lowered the requirements because of the group, because I can have multi-people going the same way, and that gives me confidence to make a group prediction, and then each of the individual people who participated in that would get a hit. So this was both a hit for the individuals involved, because the group predictions permit less severe requirements on matches with the actual target. I mean, this is critical. This is what basically eGARV does that's new. It introduces the ability and, in fact, the approach of encouraging group predictions. Now, this is what the personal stats going back to November 18th were. So this is just the personal, not the group. The group was great too, 71%. But here I want to focus on the personal, what each of you could look forward to. So there are 24 hits, 12 misses. That's a 67% hit rate. Some of the people did higher than that, some did lower. But a 67% hit rate is very respectable, thank you. During the old days with displacement, the average was 60 to 65%. We never stayed up at 67% for very long. And here we had 59 passes. So yes, there's still a fair amount of passes, but in the Ed May approach, this would have been 150 or 200 passes. So the ability to get rid of the displacement idea and being able to lower the requirements made this rather nice. Okay, so hopefully already you're encouraged. Now, this is the only complicated thing I'm going to show you, but I do think you should understand this much of what eGARV does, and this comes really from the Ed May approach. Ed May took what were his very well thought out over 500 pairs of targets, and the pairing he did very scientifically, um, nascent numbers, numeric. He had all these measures to make sure they were different but similar enough so that the remote viewers would not be drawn to one over the other. So he would say he has the best target set around, better than the ones I had before. Um, so he's very happy with his prepared targets. However, he had 20, 30 people or so, as I recall, go over each of those targets and rank them based on what he calls a fuzzy set analysis. Now, I have taken off these 24 words. They're either gestalts or AOLs. I call them gestalt slash AOLs. So there are something that you would consider AOLs in there because these are like common things which he saw in those 500, 1,000 pictures, whatever they are. There are a lot of them. Um, and they rank them based on these 24 Gestalt AOLs, which I'm not showing you, no front loading. And me, as the judge, I take your transcript and I do the analysis judging based on this same set. And that's what I give to the computer. So I give this set to the computer, and it now will compare it to the randomly selected two possible targets that are chosen. That's eGARV. I'm probably going to say it another way. If you have any questions, let me know. This is the key. There's a fuzzy set analysis that every one of the possible targets, I call them C targets because they're computerized targets. And then I use this same form based on your transcripts. And I, look at it carefully, both the sketches and the words. The words are key because these are all words, but sketches sometimes are actually better description of the words. So please keep doing your normal transcript, but then send me a copy of the words. And I say that because I don't want to miss any of them. And your handwriting is not always the best that it can be. Um, so this is as complicated as it gets, and you do not have to pay any attention to this because I'm the one who pays attention to doing the analysis. All you do is your RV session. And I do ask you at the top, because intention is so important here, that at the top you write as you clearly intend internally, down to your subconscious and your deeper self, whatever you want to call that. Describe and or sketch my feedback target. That is your task. Describe, sketch my. Notice I've changed it from like when I discuss it with you, I might say your, but on your session, you put my feedback target and DS my feedback target. The idea is to write it down to emphasize the intention. So that's your RV session. That's number one. That's what you do. Number two, you do your positive feedback session. And I'm going to describe what that is, but you're going to get your feedback and then you work it. You have your transcript, you have your feedback session. What could be easier than that? If you're doing an RV session, you always want feedback. So there it is. And number three, in the simple approach, is ignore what are called figure of merit. That's what Ed May called it. Um, Ignore those. They will be on the sheet, but you don't care. What you care about, how well, how well did you indeed match the feedback target? Because that's your task. And so you could ignore it. Can it be simpler than that? You do your RV session, you do your feedback session. That's simple. Now, after the game, I will be giving you your feedback photo. And so you get your eGARV feedback. And with it, always do your positive feedback. We think that is important. There have actually been studies where people have not done it, but I think they were just reading the mind of the people who actually saw it. Somebody has to see the feedback target. But it doesn't matter. Even in those studies, they did better when they did feedback. So here's what I recommend, and please always do, otherwise you have not done an eGARV prediction. On your transcript, circle or mark somehow the matches. Feel really good about what matched. And then either on a new sheet of paper, a lot of people like to do it on a new sheet of paper, but some people, because they have the transcript there in a different color on your transcript, match and do the RV session you wish you had done. In that other example, you'd put water and you might make a little sketch. And in fact, if you got something totally wrong, you might give a little X on it. And so you're generating basically the RV transcript you wish you had done. That's positive feedback. And so you're adding the new gestalts or AOLs, words, phrases. I do think sketches are important. It's amazing how often I get a match of those 24 things from the sketches as opposed to the words. But the words are critical too. So just keep doing your sketches, which give you both. Do your transcript, which gives you both sketches and all your words. And as you're doing this, and I think this is so important, consciously enjoy the positive emotions and feelings. Now, that's easy when you get the matches, but even if you don't have matches, you are part of a real cutting edge consciousness work here. Just doing your RV and getting the matches that you get sometimes, these remarkable matches, which hopefully you've all seen. You're on the cutting edge. And this eGARV is also cutting edge. It's the best, and I would say for me, the last ARV that I'm going to be doing. And I've already seen higher averages for the people who are participating. And then the group predictions, that's 71%. That's remarkable for a 50-50 chance prediction. But this next year, I'll be reporting this, from time to time, but I'm taking this next year to be the time for truly saying, hey, this really is remarkable. Getting rid of displacement works, and this is terrific. And I hope all of you will keep doing predictions for a year. And I think this is going to go on for more than a year. And then again, as you're doing this, add love and joy, positive thoughts. You really are on the cutting edge. of consciousness explorations, if you will. You are explorers. Okay, now I thought about whether or not to do this. Always do the best eGARV prediction that you can do. Okay, that makes sense. Do it when you're ready to do a good prediction. If you're in the middle of serious health problems, I know some people like to do it because it makes them feel better, but historically, the predictions are not very good. So if there's something terrible going on in your life, just pass. You don't have to do predictions. And then learn a little more about your consciousness from each RV prediction and positive feedback session. The positive feedback sessions are so important because that's where you learn. Now, this is what, and I do think now, after really thinking about it quite a bit, do not share the group predictions. We are on to something really important here, getting 70%. I know a lot of our people don't even wager, but some do. And those that wager, I don't want them to give it to other people. The only people I actually share the predictions with are those that gave me transcripts. They will get the prediction associated with that tasking, but they shouldn't give it to other parties who might want to wager on it. So it's only viewers who submit transcripts get the group predictions. And now the dot, dot, dot means like I'm going to be seeing the Rose Bowl game today with some people, and I think I'll share with them the prediction. So there's some exceptions, just being normal. Nobody's going to get thrown out if they do share it. But the idea is to not share it in particular with anybody else who wants to wager on it. We want to keep the wagering amongst ourselves. If you want to share your transcripts with people and all that, the consciousness part of this, I think, should be shared as far as we can. We want to educate people. The whole purpose of this is, as this works, is to educate people to the reality of psychic phenomenon. And we maintain what we're doing so far, and we will be able to do that. Okay, enough talk. Let's make a prediction and describe and or sketch your feedback target. Are there any questions? Good. You're getting out your pens, pencils, paper?
Can I ask a quick question, Marty?
Yeah, please do.
Um, if we want to continue into next year with you with this eGARV, is there a specific group that we need to be getting emails from?
No, all five of our prediction groups, Pegasus, Beta, Sage, Financial, and Omega. So those are the ones that'll do predictions every day of the week. And if you're a free member, you can do one, no problem. If you're a paid member, and I really encourage this, you could do all five. And Joe McMonagle used to do 6 predictions a week. Use it or lose it was his philosophy.
Okay, so just right back to that.
Yeah.
If you're when you say every day of the week, you mean one of the groups will be one day. Like I'm in Omega, so I get it on Sunday, and then you don't do the prediction until Friday, I think. So another group would be Monday, and another group would be Tuesday. Is that right?
Exactly. Today I'm going to send out after all this is done, because I just don't want it to interfere with what we're doing. I will be doing the Pegasus group, and that'll be for Monday. And then Beta is for Tuesday, Sage is Wednesday, etc. So one day, one group, but always eGARV now.
Okay, and each group will get a different target.
Each, not only group, each individual person for each prediction will get a different target. So
Oh
there's
wow.
right. So the targets are individual to each viewer.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Okay. So let's I mean, all of this, if you're not enjoying this, getting value from this, you should stop. So let's sort of bring in a happy face and good feelings to this. You're doing something rather remarkable. Most people would still consider it impossible. Um, and this is the targeting I set out to the SAGE group already. Now, I know some of you are not in it, but I already have 5 predictions for this Wednesday group. And you can see the nature. It'll be a prediction like this. There's one for each day with a different name of the group. And you just simply click right there. And this is how you'll get your coordinate. I'm going to show you that in a minute. Describe on or sketch my feedback target. You've heard that, right? eGARV for this one is the Rose Bowl under, notice it says it here, eGARV Sports Rose Bowl. Sometimes sports, but here it is, Rose Bowl. Um, right. Now, I'm putting this on the bottom here so I can click it because PowerPoint makes me do it this way. So on that tasking, and you can see how easy it is. On that tasking, all you do is click that tasking. This comes up. You do have to put in your email address. How else do I communicate with you? So that makes sense. So this is the minimum. You would click that line, you put in your email address, put it in twice because sometimes people will make a mistake and that fouls up everything. And then you click here, and there is your target. No, there is your target coordinate. There is your coordinate. You can ignore the rest of this. This says no displacement and all that sort of thing, but you've got your coordinate now. So you can do your RV session. I think you agree that's about as simple as you could possibly make this. Now, those of you who are not in Sage, you are going to be sending me your transcript. That's the last part of the process, is you must always send me the transcript because I have to do the analysis and judging for each of you. And of course, the computer does the final one, but I fill out those 24 things. And so I showed you that. Here's your coordinate. So I don't know if I went through that quickly. That's pretty straightforward. Do you agree? If you have any questions, ask me. So once you become part of one of those groups, you'll get the tasking for that particular, you get them 5 days in advance for each group. You do it, you get your coordinate, you send it in. So you should have a sheet of paper now, and you can put your coordinate there. Some people like to say it out loud, and they say it out loud as part of their positive feedback. That's obvious, optional. Always, 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 because otherwise I can get confused. Put your name, the date and the time, and the group, because given 5 days notice, some people will do it 3 days in advance. Some people like to do it the day of the prediction. They give it to me by 7 a.m. my time. That's when it's due. So be sure to have the group name on there. And AOLs in the normal old-fashioned, if you'll pardon the expression, CRV-like approach, AOLs were sort of secondary. They may or may not important. Here, we count them. You get an AOL, that's your intellect trying to give you some information, put it down because I will use it as part of my analysis and put it in your collection of words. Okay, so let's do it. Drop your intellect, drop your ego, except for keeping the transcript going. Let's use your intuition. about the feedback.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes, please do.
What are we trying to remove you? An object or an event?
Well, I gave an example of what was a pretty standard target. All the targets, okay, I'll tell you a little more. All the targets are outside targets. They are real locations. There are no people in the targets. There are no animals in the targets. Um, they are physical sites. And you will get a picture of that after I know the outcome. So I have to wait till the Rose Bowl game is over, and then I'll know what the correct outcome is, and then I'll know what target to send you.
Thanks. Do you want us to show this to you right now in like
No,
three
no, what I
minutes
want
or?
you to do, in fact, here, I will show you here. Um, yeah, maybe I should have done this before. You're going to do your transcript, and then you're going to send it to me so I can do the judging. So step one right now is to do it, and then you'll send it to me. I, I love the thumbs up. I hope all of you understand it that well. Perfect. So right now, you're doing your RV transcript. I'm suggesting just to stop cooling down a little bit, that you do a little breathing.
Marty, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Was the coordinate the one you just gave us?
No, you should have ah, thank you. Gosh, thank you. My fault. Here, I clicked on this,
Yes.
um, but
I'm not part of a group, so that's why I'm asking.
okay, but you will be part of the Sage group,
Okay,
kind of whether you like it or not here.
that's fine. I love Sage.
Let me let me oh here, I'll click on this here. Now you see this is the general, this is what you would get when you did this from your um um email link for any of those groups. What I'm going
Hmm.
to do is put that in the chat box. That's what I should have done before, because I'm hoping a lot of you are new. Okay, so that's what the page is called. So click on it, and I want to make sure each of you, when you click on it, get this page, fill it in, click that, and you should have a coordinate. And of course, thank you. You can't do your transcript unless you have your personal coordinate.
Got it. Thank you.
So all of you did that. You were able to go through that step. And again, you'll get that. Okay, so you're comfortable. Craig, you have a coordinate? You have a coordinate?
Yeah, I just got it. I just got it. Thanks.
Okay, good. So let me go back here, and I apologize for not doing that a little more smoothly, but I think we are together. So this, you went to a page like this and got your coordinate. And now you've got your page for the transcript. You've got your name, date, and the word sage on there. Okay, so let's calm down the intellect. We've done a lot of talking. Breathing in and out helps. Relax. And Joe says cool down is very important, and we're going to do a cool down together here in a moment. Silent prayer to an all-knowing enemy he calls God is what Tom McNair does. So what I'm going to do is a 3-minute meditation I put together from a longer meditation of Stephen Wright. It's only 3 minutes, but it'll get you hopefully deep. And at the end of that, there will be instructions to simply go ahead and actually do your transcript. And then I'll give you 5 minutes with a spin drift, which comes from the Monroe Institute. It's just quiet music background. And then your intention is what you've said. Pay attention to your subconscious and spiritual self. And I'll tell you when there's a minute left. And when you're done, I'll give you some time to send your transcript to Marty at p-i-a.com. And that's basically it, though I have some closing remarks. But once you finish this, you're done. So with that, let me do the meditation. Don't be afraid. We recognize that as human beings, we exist on many planes of existence, from our mortal frame, our minds and bodies, to an aspect of our being that is immortal, the soul, our essence. Each of us, during our lives, may touch into that truth. It may sometimes seem far away, sometimes may seem close. Some of us may live it moment by moment, recognizing that we are not just who we think we are. We're not our roles, our identities. So be open now, deep in our consciousness, deep in the unconscious. Allow ourselves to say quite simply, I am. Breathe in the word, I. Breathe out the word, am. Just sit for a moment, breathing, I am. Encouraging the sense of simply being. No need for an addition that I am this, or I am that, or I'm experiencing this. But I am open to, receptive to the deepest, very core of our being. This I amness has been said throughout time in all traditions. It is eternal. It is immortal. We open ourselves, are receptive to our essential nature, which does not know death. The we who we think we are may pass away, the world may pass away, but it is only one plane of consciousness. Deep in the very core of our being is the immortal I amness, which all beings, all life, all creation possesses. And as we touch into that essential I amness, as we breathe in the word I, breathe out the word am. We remember that those are the very words when asked, who are you, of the divine? That is exactly what the divine says. I am. And we say, I am. And all beings say, I am. The whole universe is saying, I am.
Please do your RV transcript now.
5 minutes are up, but if you'd like to take more time, do. The viewer is in charge. So at this point, you will actually get your positive feedback after the game. So, and the positive feedback, I'm just going to review it quickly here, but that's important. You circled and marked the matches on your transcript, a new sheet of paper. You add what you wish you had done and enjoy the whole process. If you have questions, I have a self-holistic healing, and now I've added eGARV discussions to it every morning during the week. And this is the link. It's a Zoom link. I'll put it in the chat box. And eGARV is one of those things you might want to heal and improve. I define healing in a very general way. You know, there are parts of the world that need healing. So I wanted to share that with you. Okay. And then you need, okay, I must have that here, but I want, with some closing remarks here, but before I really end this, I want to remind you, you now have your transcript. You need to send that. I know you all have my email addresses, but I'll put it here just to make it easier for you. Email a transcript to me, and then after the game, I will email you the feedback. Now, Ingo Swann, who you know is one of the real motivators and instrumental in naming remote viewing with the people at SRI back in the early 70s, Ingo's message to humanity was simple. We are born with limitless potentials, basically infinite potential, capable of using more than just five senses. The five senses we are told are our only senses, and that, of course, is ridiculous. And in living life, we should let go of our demons. Those are the blocks and that stop us from getting good sessions really every time. Embrace our angelic parts and overall do as little harm as possible. We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And that's a very famous Christian mystic, Pierre Teilhard de Chardin. We are basically spiritual beings. And then love, wisdom, beauty, joy are the words I got going through a meditation at the Monroe Institute through 4 spiritual pools. So if there are any questions or comments, that's the end of my presentation. I look forward to getting your, thank you, Janet. I look forward to getting your, I don't know if, yeah, thank you for that. And I look forward to getting your transcripts. And if there are no more questions, I will end this and thank you for joining me. And your questions were beautiful. That'll help the other people that share with us.